Hello students, this video is being made to give you a short walkthrough of what it's going to look like when you schedule for classes for next year. Now I am going to sign in as a current 8th grade student at Davis County Middle School, but this process is going to be pretty much the same regardless of what grade or what school you are in, as long as you're signing up for one of our high schools. Um, my first object was to sign in to the Student Infinite Campus portal as the student, not as the parent, and to go down to this link that says Academic Plan. You're probably going to do this at school with a homeroom teacher or an advisor or a teacher of some type to have assistance. So don't be afraid to raise your hand and ask questions as you go through this process. On the other hand, you're also going to be welcome to do this at home from a home computer, and your parents should also be able to sign in and see the same screens, or at least very similar screens. So I, as a student, have gone to Academic Plan. I'm coming over to the right, and I'm realizing that as a Davis County Middle School student, I am soon going to be at Davis County High School, and I've already been assigned as a Davis County High School regular diploma. Regular diploma means it will just be minimum graduation requirements. If I know that I need to be on the honors diploma track, I can switch that here. I could click it and just choose next. Honors is a little bit advanced from the regular diploma. You will end up taking a few foreign language classes and some advanced placement or AP classes that your teachers or counselors may have already talked to you about or may talk to you about soon. If you are unsure what status you need to be, please keep it at regular diploma. Same thing for Apollo students. You can always come back and change this at a later date. Also on this screen, you're going to see this post-graduation status. For now, we're going to leave that blank. Eventually in your senior year guidance counselor will ask you to make some selections there. So for now, we're going to leave that blank and click next. Now that I've come to this screen, and you may have to do some zooming in or zooming out on your keyboard to see this well, depending on what size computer you have, but it's this long scrolling page of all of your course options. At Davis County High School, you're going to see that there are some classes already populated right here based on either a teacher recommendation. So if you're an 8th grader, your 8th grade math class, your 8th grade English class, and so on, that teacher may have been making a recommendation for what to take your freshman year. If you're at Apollo, and let's just say you are a current junior, also your junior teacher in a core content class may have made suggestions of what to take for a senior year. So you may see some classes already populated in some or all of these fields. They may be a recommendation from a teacher, and you might want to leave it right where it's at. But if you know that there's something that was just put in here as a placeholder, you are welcome to change it. So if I know that I have English 1 CP, that's probably there at a teacher's request, and unless I've had a conversation, I'm going to leave that one alone. But maybe I'm going to come over here to my math senior year and say, hey, this is maybe 4 years from now. The recommendation in there was just a recommendation, or maybe there isn't even a recommendation. But I know that maybe I want to take pre-calculus. So I would scroll down and find pre-calculus. And now that I click on it, it is now in here. So you're going to do your best to fill out all 4 grades, grade 9, 10, 11, and 12, for all content areas that you know that there's a requirement. So I've scrolled down to science and I see that there's only 3 courses and there's an empty one. Well, for science, you only have to have 3 credits in high school. Again, you're going to get some guidance from your teachers, but a quick place to look is right here. See where it says 3 out of 3 or 3.5 out of 3.5 and so on. That is what you're going to be looking for. It's okay if you go over, you just can't be under. If I scroll on down to where it says elective, this is where you're going to do most of your selections. So you see on the freshman year, it gives a default of we want you to take digital literacy, we want you to take the health class and the PE class. Again, if you want to talk with a counselor on changes to some of those things, you can, but then you're also going to say, well, hey, I need more credits. And again, you need to talk to your counselor on how many credits to sign up for per year, but you would make those changes there. Also go into your upper grades and make selections there. This is where you get to be somewhat picky about what classes you take. So if you know you're going to be taking band classes or ag classes or business or FCS classes, a lot of PE classes, this is where you're going to scroll and find those. This is a very long scrolling list, and you'll have to find the ones that you want there. In this elective area, be careful that if you are planning on going to a college and you're going to be making plans along the way to get there, you need to be looking into foreign language classes. You will find the foreign language classes under elective also. Again, remember that if you do an honors diploma, that is mandatory that you do a certain number of those. So be watching for that. If I scroll on down here to non-credit, I'm going to leave that one alone. But on alternates, I have to make selections here. In fact, I have to make 8 credit selections total. That is per year. The reason you want to write down alternates, and again, this will be described to you from your guidance counselors, but I'm going to say it again now, is if you put in this elective area that you wanted to take, ag construction class or something, but when the schedule is made by the counselor, you don't have the option of taking that because it's already full or it is scheduled the same time as another class. What does the guidance counselor need to do to give you a class that you want if your first preference is not available? They need to know what to go to for your second, third, and fourth preferences. So you need to fill up at least 8 credit hours of alternates. These are the classes that your counselor will use to fill any holes in your schedule in case there's conflicts from what you originally have requested. When you are finished, you scroll back up to the top and you see that I've left most of these blank, so mine's not going to work. But you will click save, and it will tell you if there are holes where you have not met certain requirements. It's going to let you know exactly what you have and have not done there. I'm going to go ahead and click save, but in your case, in reality, you will want to make sure and go through where those errors do not exist. Okay, so that's all that's involved in setting your academic planner, which is the process that you will use for scheduling classes. This will be opened at some parts of the year and closed at some parts of the year. Right now, while you're going through this, obviously it's open, but at a certain time, your school will turn off this feature where you can't make any changes. It will stay closed until the next year when you come back in and make modifications again. We call that a window. So there will be a window of time where this will be available to you. If I come down back to the left underneath academic plan to academic progress, once you have filled out all of those options, you want to be able to look at this and see that it's all green. If you see any reds, it means that there are some holes in what you need for graduation. So if I look at the screen, I realize that maybe I haven't taken the arts elective class that I need, and that's pretty much it. And then maybe if I come over here, I didn't schedule nearly enough electives. Remember, you saw on the previous screen, I didn't fill all of those out. If I scroll down even further, I see that the state requires that I take a civics exam, and I haven't yet taken it, or I've taken it and not passed. So this screen is very helpful for you on making sure that you've got the things that you need to be on track for high school graduation. If I come to this screen and I think I'm regular, but I really want to check and see how close I am to meeting the needs or the minimum requirements for something like an honors diploma, I can always switch that here on this screen and it will update and reflect any other needs. So you see in this case, now it's added that I'm short AP credits. And so that, again, is only because I've switched to honors. So this is a handy tab when you want to check your status against another type of diploma. Very handy if you're thinking about going from regular to honors. And I suggest that you try that out. If you're capable of honors, we certainly want to challenge you to do that. It will be beneficial later in life. I want a reminder that, again, parents do have the ability to log in into their parent portal and also make some changes to things like the academic plan. We encourage you to make this a family conversation. Go home, get some input from family members, guardians, any kind of trusted mentor in life, and then obviously take advantage of your high school advisors and counselors as well. If you have questions, find one of those people. Please ask questions. Don't go through this process just clicking things randomly because you don't understand. We want your high school experience to be fantastic and to take classes that you want. This is the time to make sure that those things are discussed and answered and filled out completely. Thanks for listening.